First off, rest in peace, neighborhood nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building businesses that black own. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Stick and move, Javante.
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Heal gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, Faith Overseer.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
Yo. What's going on, good people? You already know what it is. You got your we can't seem to get right. It's like and when Kyrie come back, then KD gone back, then Kyrie gone, then we can't get our load management schedule right, but we always gonna make it happen. We always gonna show up like we always does. So who I got with me today?
Welcome back, Hill. You already know I'm good. Hill gonna heal regardless, baby. I'm feeling refreshed. Let's get it.
And you already know you got your guy AJ, Mr. Red Cup. We are doing this for our man's, the Washington fan extraordinaire. I guess he thought that the bye week extended to him as well. But we definitely gonna hold it down. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of the 3-Man Weave podcast. I lied to y'all, and I promise I will never lie to y'all again. Last episode was episode 128, and I told y'all it's episode 129.
I thought I was tripping.
Today is episode 129, and
right.
Nichelle, she got me straight. She was just like, don't ever do that shit again. So I ain't never gonna do that shit again.
I'm like, well, I'm coming back for 130. Okay. But y'all know y'all can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3-Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3-Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. We also on TikTok and Twitch, 3-Man Weave _. Oh man, I want to thank y'all, man. Y'all held it down for my little hiatus, man. Had to hold it.
Hey man, you know what it is. The ball don't touch the floor. Everybody on the team gotta pull their weight. You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's all it is.
Yes, sir.
And like our guy Mark said, hey, IR been wild. We got we've been going. We were dropping like flies, but ain't no next man up here. It's just everybody just gonna hold this shit up. You feel me? So yeah, but we definitely have some good shows, and as usual, we're gonna have this one rocking too. And we see that we got some people in the audience room, some viewership right now. So
yeah, shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to all the supporters. We gotta come up with a better nickname too.
We gotta figure out what we're gonna call y'all. Start dropping some ideas. What supporters? What do you think we should have the name of everybody that's in the group, everybody that tunes in? It got to be something lit though.
And don't say the Weavers.
Just
go ahead and just leave that right.
Yeah, that is not on the list.
Not at all.
It's trash.
We'll X that off. Immediately.
X offline. Where you want to jump in at?
Your boy had a interview. Your man's.
Yeah. The bench warmers. I kind of like that though.
I do. Some people gonna think it's disrespectful, but I like it.
Hey, so funny story. One of the names that I had, before that we came up with, this podcast and as a collective, when I was thinking about doing one just solo, I was thinking about calling it the All-American Bench Warmer. So I think, I kind of fuck with it, but I don't know if anybody would take, because we don't want y'all to think that is a pejorative. If we ain't calling y'all the bench warmers.
Well, what word did you just say?
A pejorative. It's a negative term.
Hey man, look, this is what we're not about to do. You save your SAT words for later on, or
This ain't hit yet.
This heel back. Regular words is
my bad. I got you.
Boy, they pulled out this encyclopedia. You know what I'm saying? The thesaurus out here. You know what I'm saying? He said pejorative.
But yeah, man,
I'm in a whole heap of trouble every time.
we bringing out them words. I'm in a whole heap of trouble. Hey, wasn't that from Comic View?
Yeah, that's
Hey, bro,
you was
they
up at
wasn't
night.
outside. They wasn't outside for Comic View.
You
Boy.
was up for that,
Yeah, definitely.
I ain't never heard that boy say heap. But look, man, your boy Kanye, you know what I'm saying? He had an actual, I'm gonna call it a good interview.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he was in a calm setting that he was comfortable, you know what I'm saying? He get, articulate his thoughts. He went, deviated, went a little left at times, but that, that's a Kanye conversation.
Right,
Um,
absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? He said some controversial thing, sent some shots at a couple of people that, you know, once he explained the shot, I understood why he took the shot, and now do I have to agree with the shots? Nah, but I do understand his position on, y'all chose a side against me. So it is what it is. So stay there. So, but overall, it was a good interview.
Yeah, so to be quite honest, I didn't finish the interview, but I did catch it. And one of the first things that I really, really noticed was it was comfortable.
Yeah.
And he didn't feel pressured. I didn't feel like it was Kanye speaking to someone who he felt was out to get him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't in that mindset. And you and I, we share some of our sentiments on Kanye where it's like, fuck him. We ain't
Mm-hmm.
really
Mm-hmm.
we ain't really there with Kanye, and it's the reason why we haven't listened to Donda. It's the reason why I haven't listened to whatever those projects was that was prior to that.
Yeah.
But I think is you know it's good, and above all else, I just like the platform that it was out on. This wasn't for GQ. This wasn't
Mm-hmm.
for Vogue. This wasn't for Rolling Stone. This was for us. And I think that's big. I think this Quiet as It's Kept is probably one of the biggest interviews, just kind of like for hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
because because like I said, he didn't go to those other publications, and he didn't even go to like Elliot Wilson. He went to Nori,
Mm-hmm.
and that's, to me, that's big. And I think Nori is probably one of the only few people who could have got this conversation out of Kanye, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Because I don't like I said, I feel as if he felt he was safe. He
Mm-hmm.
felt that this is an environment that I can just come in and be myself. He didn't have to feel guarded, and he didn't feel that he had to be on his P's and Q's in his words. And that's one of the things that I was talking to my mans about this today. The reason why I don't I don't really rock with Kanye anymore is because he's too big with his platform to have some of like those missteps in his conversation that he has,
Mm-hmm.
because it can be weaponized and used against not just him but us as a whole. And to me, when you have, like he said, no one man should have all this power. He quoted that,
Mm-hmm.
and he should understand that. And it's not just his words that are doing things for him. Yeah, you meeting with Trump and stuff like that because you have certain things in common as far as an agenda that you'd like to see. But what happens is when stuff like that happens, and we've seen it over and over and over, where if you like black people aren't afforded the opportunity to agree with someone on one point and it be separate from everything else that they believe.
That's a
Once we
fact.
agree with yep, once, like it's just like we was talking about with Deshaun Jackson and Farrakhan. Once we agree with something that you say on one point, is, oh, so you believe this, you believe this, you believe this. So now when you agree with Donald Trump on prison reform, and you are trying to get us, some people freed from high profile cases, or some people who our cases are a little bit less known, and you're meeting with Trump, you're hugging Trump, and you're wearing a MAGA hat. Now he can use you as a pawn in every single agenda that he has. And it gives him the power to say, I've done more for black people than Abraham Lincoln. And white people are going to continue to push that. Like, yeah, y'all should vote with us. Y'all should come over with us because the radical left ain't helping y'all, stuff like that. And I think this was the opportunity for him to be comfortable, make some mistakes in his conversation,
Mm-hmm.
but do callbacks, clean it up, and he feels like it's not going to be cut into a clickbait headline to be used against him.
Oh, okay. But I said because he had some clickbaits.
Oh yeah, he has some clickbait, and
No.
with some. So I want to go like I want to touch on some of the clickbait right here, where Jarvis says he's wild for that Sean take.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't think he is, to be quite honest,
why not?
because to me, like I think Sean personalized it, but I don't think that was just a personal shot. I know it seems like a personal shot,
Wow.
but it was a he. It's a, if he says it's a bad business move, I mean Kanye has made some business moves. If it's a bad business move, it's a bad business move. I think maybe he volunteered that information incorrectly, but like I said, he felt he was in a comfortable space to just speak freely.
But he did.
And
But he did personalize it though, because he didn't just touch on maybe he didn't make any money off Big Sean. Let's say that, but he said, "Yo, I met that man, Mama. I took him out of what I'm saying, a bad situation, and he turned on me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a personal. It's a personal. I don't like you. Now, like I said, once he
but
said
I don't.
this, I understand why he said it. Like you said, you was publicly dissing me on platform. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because
Of course,
like he explained to Pusha, he said Pusha voted Democrat, but Pusha won't allow with the disrespect with, hey, no, we not doing with you know what I'm saying, we not doing this with Kanye. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm riding with you in private. I'm riding with you in public. You
oh,
know,
absolutely,
so
100%.
so like I said, when he articulated and understood why he wasn't rocking with Sean or John Legend, I'm like, oh, it makes perfect sense. But
Yeah,
business wise, like I said, but he didn't, like you said, he didn't just keep it business. He took
you're
it
right.
personal. He
You're right.
personal.
You're right. He did take it personal, but sometimes personally that can affect your business decision. Also, just to say that there, because if I'm starting to see the type of person you are, it's like I don't necessarily want to do business with you. And I don't know it to me the way that this situation is, where it blends because he is signed to him and stuff like that, but this goes beyond music in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
where it seems like, but it doesn't seem like just like a relationship. You get what I'm saying? Where I don't think the fallout came from I just think you a shitty person. I think the fallout came from political views, which even still technically, I mean it can be personalized, but is it really just like something that can break down a personal relationship? Am I making sense?
I get what you're saying. So yeah,
Yeah.
you making sense. Yeah, so yeah, you making sense.
Okay.
It just because I
Damn, I
remember.
just started drinking and I'm sweating. God
Yeah,
damn.
I understand. I remember when 2 Chainz had said something about it off topic. 2 Chainz was like, "Yo, I don't care about none of his political views. You know what I'm saying? How we handle each other personally is how we handle each other personally. You know what I'm saying?
But and that's what I was gonna say, because I think for me, if it's just like, I mean, if it's just your political views, then I'm not gonna like distance myself from you if we're doing business. But like I said, the reason where I had my issues with Kanye is because of some of the stuff that he was saying. If Kanye was a if Kanye's a Republican and he wanted to vote for Trump, I don't have no problem with that.
Yeah,
Some of the stuff that he was saying
yeah.
in terms of that is where I'm like, you know what, I can't really rock with you on that. But I
And
also don't have no personal connection to him as well. So he probably would have said the same thing about me had I said this stuff publicly about him also.
I mean, you already know. Everybody know how I feel about it. You know, it's F
Oh,
Kanye,
100%.
for the real. But the thing
Rashawn got
about
a good
it,
question. Rashawn got a good question here real quick. Let's come back to this. Let's come back to this.
we should. Ooh, no, we should go ahead. Let's answer this now.
Okay. So should political views in friendships and politics say a lot about you? So what do you think? Should political views in friendships?
Being that I'm a recipient of that, but it shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't. Me personally, like you said, you ain't got no business going in depth with politics with me. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm not a political person. Who you vote for, and who you vote for, what the rights that you want
Hmm.
is the rights that you want. That's how you shouldn't have that conversation in depth with me. You can explain what you got. But you can have a conversation with me. You can explain your stance. You can do all that, and we can go on about our business. Like I said, how me and you interact with each other is how me and you interact with each other. I don't have to.
Absolutely.
I don't care about what you got going on over there.
And
So it shouldn't. But I'm a recipient of losing friend of political views. But
right. And I agree with you. I don't think um, political views should end friendship, but I think it can, depending on which political views you agree with. Because
yeah,
personally, like I said, like if because once again, if I think Trump, he changed a lot of how this politics stuff is, because a lot of times a lot of the politicians, they would speak with the dog whistle, like they would have that dog whistle where only certain people can hear it. They would have that racist code. They wouldn't just be overtly, discriminatory and blatantly, coming at specific groups of people. A politician in the past would have never said Mexicans are coming across the border, raping and killing your family.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't do that. Even when they were talking about the war on drugs and how it was tearing down the community and changing people, it wasn't necessarily, oh, it's turning these black people violent and they killing everybody and stuff like that. That's who it was directed to, but it was cold. It was the dog whistle. And
mhm.
now I think the reason why it's ending a lot of friendships is because now when people are starting to agree with certain platforms and certain people, you're starting to tie those certain things to that person. I don't think political views, like just who you vote for per se, should end a friendship, but I think it can, depending on which platform. Like if you're going for someone because you think like, oh, I don't necessarily agree with their immigration policy, but I like their prison reform better. I like what they're going to do for the economy and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's tough, and that's why I said it's unfair that certain people, when you agree with one thing that they say, sometimes you're not afforded that. I disagree with them on this point, but I think that this part is so important that we need something like this. You kind of get stuck because it's the same about, like I said, with Democrats.
Yeah.
We don't like, you don't agree with everything sometimes it's like, I don't, I didn't agree with everything that Obama did. I don't agree. I definitely don't agree with everything Joe Biden's doing. I don't agree with everything that George Bush did. I don't agree with everything Donald Trump did. I don't think with throughout my lifetime, I've never endured a president where I was like, I'm with him 100%.
I mean, that's halfway life period though. It's like
Exactly.
even
So,
even with your like favorite player, you wouldn't. But before we get off this subject, I want to try to give an example of you can have a conversation about differential
and
political views. Is like okay,
100%.
well,
I'm,
I'm
I'm,
at
I'm
I'm at a
trust me, I'm
draft
with you.
party. I'm at a draft party, and they started talking about gun control. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
One side was for gun control, and the other side was against it. And both points was a great point, and it was a great conversation. And we left here, and they just left here with just had a great conversation. But
Absolutely.
some people can't handle political conversations. That's why I tend to not have political conversations at all. Once
Absolutely.
the moment I see it's going left, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm done with any of of the politics.
Oh, 100%. And that's why I feel like it shouldn't end friendships, but also people don't know how to have conversations. When you get 9 times out of 10, most people that you have a debate with are
Hmm.
trying to change your mind. I'm not necessarily trying to change your mind when I'm having a discussion with you. I just want to give you my viewpoints and you can internalize it how you feel. So you and I, we do this all the time.
Yeah.
We will go back and forth. It'll get heated. We'll have a conversation, and for hours it'll be like, I don't agree with that shit. I don't agree with that shit. But then we'll
Mhm.
circle back. We'll come together. I'm not necessarily trying to change your mind, but then you start to see like, I can see why you think that from your perspective. And that to me, that's what all this is about. It's about perspective. And what people fail to realize is just because something is right for you, don't make it
Mhm.
right for everybody else.
I'm glad you said that. So since we own a political topic, we might as well stay here.
Let's do it.
That shouldn't be politics. The COVID vaccine.
I hate this shit. I really hate this shit. And Aaron Rodgers, like,
Hmm.
You dumb as fuck for this. You like this is all your fault. You brought all this shit on yourself. And I hate exactly what he did, talking about like he made the dog whistle. Aaron Rodgers spoke with all the dog whistle that comes from Donald Trump, the radical left, the woke mob, the cancel culture. That's all the shit Donald Trump was saying when he was trying to politicize COVID. When in all actual, like, he's politicizing COVID, but he's also the one that sparked and funded the research for the COVID vaccine. But he was using the COVID vaccine to get to try and get another term. And then when shit started to go south, guess what? I'm gonna deviate. Like Donald Trump made a living off of lying to people.
Mm-hmm.
And so for people, like for someone who went to Cal Berkeley
Mm-hmm.
to just go, oh, I'm gonna do my own research. I've been immunized, taking dewormers for animals,
Mm-hmm.
saying that I am immunized. That's stupid. And I'm not one of those people that's gonna say, oh, if you get the vaccine, you're stupid. I'm not gonna be like, oh, don't get the vaccine because it's not enough research. It's all up to you. But what Aaron Rodgers is an idiot for is the way he spoke about it, trying to lie and trying to hide it. He's talking about you're getting shamed and stuff like this. And I felt like um uh that, I believe in full body autonomy and shit like that. I believe in full body autonomy too, but I also know that there's fucking rules. There's fucking rules to the establishment. Yeah, if you don't want to get the vaccine, guess what? Wear a fucking mask.
Mm-hmm.
The person you share a backfield with lost his dad to COVID. How fucking insensitive are you to just walk around here telling people and leading people on outside of the locker room to believe that you're vaccinated, quote unquote, by saying, because he knew he was deliberately misleading people, because when they asked if you're vaccinated, he said, yes, I'm immunized. And I don't judge people who decide not to get the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
You never got the vaccine. The vaccine is a needle in your fucking arm. You never got that. You're taking fucking ivermectin, hydrochloroquine, and all that shit. That's not the vaccine. And even if you try to like, how many times have you tried to get away with a lie to your mama and try and use the words that she asked you
Mm-hmm.
and use semantics by trying to get away?
Yeah, and that works with my mom.
Oh,
you
did you take the chicken out the freezer? Yeah, I took it out, but you didn't take it out until 2 minutes before she got home. That's why the shit's still frozen.
See, you put me in a bad position. Now everybody know I hate two people on this episode. I know I hate Kanye and I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I got to shoot the man some bail.
Why?
Everything that you said about how he explained it was 100%. I'm with you,
okay.
And that's why I was laughing. I'm like, oh, you took my rant that I had planned for him. So I'm, shouts out to you, because I'm surprised. You pull out a cake for Aaron Rodgers in a minute.
Oh, I'm not done.
I know, but the reason why I had to shoot out some bail, he didn't hide this.
No, he didn't hide it, but he was deliberately misleading.
How? I'm gonna tell you why I didn't. He went to the Packers and told them, this is my alternative. This is before the season. This is my alternative that I'm trying to do.
Okay, go ahead, because I'm not done. They gonna get some too.
This is my alternative that I'm trying to do. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing, for my immunity, for my system. And this is my vaccine. That's how he tried to play it. He tried to get the alternative version of it. They denied it and deemed him unvaccinated. So the fact is, the Packers knew he was denied vaccination status. Right. They are so scared of this man now that they letting this man walk around unmasked, doing whatever he want to do, unfollowing all the protocols got to do with. He's living his life, because, like I said, that's why I'm not mad at none of his statements. I'm not mad at none of his statements, though.
And by me saying what I'm saying about Aaron Rodgers, best believe I'm finna get to the Green Bay Packers and the NFL, because his words were deliberately deceiving.
Oh, for a fact.
His words were deliberately deceiving. But where Aaron Rodgers is also fucked up is, yes, you are deliberately deceiving, and then you're not also following protocols. I don't care if he wears his mask in the facility. What he's also supposed to do is wear his mask in those fucking interviews. And he didn't do that not once. So that's because he felt that it was trying to embarrass unvaccinated players. No, that's not trying to embarrass unvaccinated players. What it's trying to do is keep everyone safe. Talking about, oh, I've done my research. Well, what? Tell us. Because if you've done your research, you would I'm sorry, doing your research and then taking ivermectin and hydrochloroquine, that confuses me because the research for that stuff is it's not proven.
He did say that he's allergic to an ingredient that's in the Moderna vaccine
And Pfizer. But then there's Johnson and Johnson. But here's my thing.
I'm good on that.
But and that's my point. Guess what? I'm good on say, you know what? I'm allergic to the mRNA that is in Moderna and Pfizer. They offer a Johnson and Johnson shot, but I am uncomfortable with getting the Johnson and Johnson shot. So with that being said, I'm going to follow these protocols and make sure that I have my mask on, because guess what? There's also research that masks fucking work. It's okay. You wear a fucking helmet every fucking day. Putting something over your face shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. And my whole thing is, another reason why I'm so upset about him is how I know he deliberately deceived us, because in protocols, you are not supposed to be in large crowds. You're not allowed to travel except places for the game. Where the fuck was he at the week before he tested positive? Playing fucking John Wick, trying to be Baba fucking Yaga with his guns pointed sideways in a fucking Halloween party with his mask off. No, yeah, mask on, motherfucker.
But the thing is, though, it's funny. It's still funny about this situation because, damn, I lost my train of thought. I kept trying to find it too. That's why I was trying to delay it. I lost it.
So here's my thing. Here's why I'm saying that the NFL and the Packers are also at fault. Excuse me.
I'm more so on the Packers.
Oh, I'm more so on the Packers too, because the Packers, y'all signed his fucking checks. Y'all signed his fucking checks. And I don't know if necessarily if he did this on purpose or not, to really put their feet to the fire, because that is also possible. Where it's like,
nah,
but just hear me out real quick, because now I don't want to get vaccinated. What y'all gonna do? Treat me like somebody else if I get it? Because Cam didn't want to get vaccinated. He tested positive. They cut him. Y'all got my replacement. Y'all gonna put me on the bench because of him? Show me. I wanted, I don't know if what if this is literally just a hypothetical. What if he was literally just forcing their hand? What y'all gonna do?
That's why I said they was already. He got him by the nuts. That's why they're not saying a word to him. That's why that's not about it. That's why they're not saying a word to him. But I knew for a fact that he wasn't going to get cut. I want to touch on this one though.
Let me say something real quick.
Go ahead.
Where Aaron Rodgers fucked up is being deliberately deceiving, because saying, yes, I'm immunized, if you don't want to get vaccinated, it's fine. There's other quarterbacks out here who came out and said, I'm not getting vaccinated.
Did they ever come out and say it? Or we just knew that they're not vaccinated?
Kirk Cousins and Carson Wentz saying, no, I'm not getting vaccinated. Kirk Cousins said, I'm not going to get vaccinated. I will follow protocol. I will make sure that I wear my mask at all times. And guess what? Kirk Cousins has not been seen violating protocol.
That's correct. Or Carson Wentz. But I just want to know, did they actually say it, or did we just know? Because a lot of people not just coming in. You're not just volunteering your vaccination status.
I believe Kirk Cousins did say, I think he said for sure, I'm not getting vaccinated. I'm not sure about Carson, but I know he's not vaccinated. But I do know that it's Kirk Cousins is not.
But like you say, we know multiple players that's unvaccinated that don't get any media coverage about it. We know some people that it got blown out of proportion. How do you feel about everybody trying to compare it, treat them like they did Kyrie? How do you feel about that? That's the funny thing.
I'm not surprised he's not getting treated like Kyrie, but I mean, I think some of it is Kyrie's fault for some of the things he has said. Cannon, I'm going to echo this for Cannon, because this is kind of what Cannon said. Kyrie, with saying that the earth is flat, people are already questioning your I've done my research kind of takes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you kind of deserve, I won't say you deserve some of this scrutiny, but it's warranted when you can say the earth is flat. But then, you're talking about research and free thinkers and critical thinking. But once again, that's some of the shit that Aaron Rodgers said. And sometimes when you got
Mm-hmm.
ain't nobody, how people say when you got to tell somebody something to prove it to them, half the time you ain't what you saying. So to me, when I'm a free thinker, and I'm a critical thinker. Sometimes it's like, well, obviously you're not, because now you're kind of just thinking along the path of someone else. You're not thinking freely. You're following someone else's thoughts, but it intrigues you and you
Mm-hmm.
think it's beneficial to you.
My thing about it is, you knew, you knew they were going to be treated differently, for a
Oh,
fact.
I
Because,
knew that,
like I say,
but
Kyrie can't even say his name is Kyrie without a reaction for
Mhm.
certain people. And the pedestal that Aaron Rodgers is always put in, like
Is
he
this a
can
real
do.
person, or are we getting like spam?
No, this is
Like,
a real person.
oh, the real truth. Okay.
Yeah, he a Bucks fan too. He always say Bucks Nation when he come in. That's a real
Oh,
person.
okay. Okay. What's up?
So he says, the pedestal that Aaron Rodgers is always being put in, how he's perfect, he's the perfect quarterback, how it's always everybody else's fault when it comes to any Aaron Rodgers situation. That's one of my biggest gripes when it comes to when everybody
Mm-hmm.
talk about Aaron Rodgers. So
Oh,
it's like he's so
100%.
perfect, he's so this and that. That's why it was received differently, and then it had to grow. It's like, so people like, hold on now, y'all got to start keeping that same energy, because he went on Pat McAfee show, and I watched that interview, and like you say, he started quoting it. He started saying some of the same stupid
You
things, like you
you
called
kn-
it.
you know when a white person is about to say some bullshit when they quote Martin Luther King.
That was the part that lost me the most.
White people love to quote Martin Luther King in situations to feel oppressed. And, this is one thing that really pisses me off, because as you can see during this previous election, so many white people they want to be oppressed. They want to feel like they are oppressed when you have the privilege. And white privilege doesn't mean you get everything you want, but you do have a leg up.
It's just evidence.
There's complete evidence to it. And once again, it's always been seen. I don't care if you broke as fuck. Yeah, you a white person and you broke as fuck, and you still have privileges in this country that some others aren't afforded. And so he's talking about, an unjust rule is like,
Yeah,
uh, I, what?
yeah.
I'm gonna quote Martin Payne. Shut the hell up. Like,
Man,
why? Like, what are you
sit your
saying?
ass.
Like, sit your $5, like, because you are trying to tell me that this is unjust, and the protocols that they're trying to impose is very, like, no, it's not. It's literally trying to protect the investment. This is all about money, because you know
Hmm.
what the NFL is not trying to do? Reschedule games.
Yeah,
They told y'all, we are not rescheduling games. If y'all have a COVID outbreak, you
yeah.
forfeiting.
Facts.
Like,
You,
plain and simple. And
but
so,
like, I ain't mean to cut you off, but you know how when they pick and choose on which quote they want to run with, or which person they want to run with. You, I know you're a fan of Jonathan Isaac because he played for Florida
hmm
State. Do
yeah.
you remember his press conference about COVID?
And it was very informed.
Very
Yes,
informed, but he also articulated some of the same things, like, yeah, I'm going to immunize myself by using other alternatives as
absolutely.
well. So nobody said a word to him, because
You want to
nobody.
know why?
Go ahead.
You want to know why? Because he didn't come when someone asked him if he's vaccinated, he didn't start by saying yes.
Hmm.
He literally answered the questions and said, "No, I'm not going to do that,
Yeah,
but I am going to do this." Do you think Jonathan Isaac is wearing a mask?
I'm sure he is.
Do you believe that Jonathan Isaac is being very, secluded when it comes to who he's around and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and being smart?
that's the protocol. He don't have no choice. But the thing
He's
is, but
following protocol. Do you
but the
think?
thing.
I don't know what Jonathan Isaac did for Halloween, but I follow him on Instagram. I don't know. I can't remember seeing him on my timeline at a party.
But the funny thing is, though, they asked him. It went water under the bridge. Cool. We asked you a direct question. You answered it. Cool. They already assumed that Kyrie was never getting the vaccine from the jump. They already knew what time it was. When the protocols came out, Kyrie's name was already attached with it. Oh, I know he's not doing that. They already assumed. They already did that.
Eric, before I get to your point, Hill. Eric, yes, he did. It's very subtle language. Like I said, when it like just like when your mom asked you a question, they asked if you are vaccinated. He said yes,
Yes, I'm
comma,
immunized.
I'm immunized. That's not the vaccination, and he knew that. Aaron,
And they left him alone
exactly. Aaron Rodgers is like, don't
because
let
they
Aaron
scared
Rodgers
of
play
Aaron
dumb.
Rodgers. Because
Don't exactly. Don't let him play dumb and say, "Oh yes, I answered your question. I'm immunized." No, he's smart enough to know that he did wordplay because in that Pat McAfee interview, also he said if there was a follow up question, I would have said this.
hmm
So he was smart enough to know that I'm gonna say this, and they gonna leave me the fuck alone
this is
because
not.
he knows that they're not gonna ask him
Yeah,
a follow up question. He knew exactly what he was doing.
yeah. He knows he's very calculated in every and all pretty much on everything he said. So it's funny, but it's funny though that he out here lying about this. Said, but now all of a sudden when it came to the organization, everybody believed everything that he said then, though, right? We can move on. We can
I've always said, "Hey, just get this motherfucker an extra wide receiver." That's all I've been saying.
move on. And I tell you how teams are going to move how they always continue to move.
Oh, 100%.
What works for them. If they have success by doing by doing A, they is not about to change it to go to B. It's quite simple. Just look at all your teams. Look at every team that you follow. Just look at it.
I don't want to
Only
look at
the only the teams that won. Let me say the teams that won.
I don't
It's the same.
have.
It's the same model. Just check it. They're
I
not
don't
going to
have it.
deviate.
The only team I had that has ever won is Florida State and the Angels. I don't.
Yeah, but I know. I want you to think about other teams. I
I
didn't
was
want
in
you to
like
think.
junior high.
I didn't want you to think about your teams. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Um.
Whoa,
So
whoa, whoa, whoa. What? Mark Jackson, why Green Bay set Love up to fail his first start though? Cap,
that's Cap. They didn't set him up to fail, bro.
he
He was
just
going against
trash.
the worst. He was going against the worst defense in the NFL. That's just to me. That does just show you how, like, I won't say, like, it shows you they need that. It shows you why they scared of Aaron Rodgers, to be quite honest, because they know we either can go from a Super Bowl team to a lottery team real quick with just this one player being gone.
But there's ways they could have done this. Like I said, didn't they was trying to have a penis swinging contest and they lost. Like they
And
could have got out of this. Like
and here's also my thing. For me personally, I understand that when the season starts, starters getting all the reps.
yeah,
You not vaccinated, bro? Hey, we gonna get him some reps because you can be here. You can be gone in a blink of an eye. And to me, I think the old saying, "You're only as good as your backup quarterback." And we saw backup quarterbacks come in those last couple weeks and do something. We saw Mike White come in, beat the shit out the Bengals. We saw Cooper Rush come in, beat
hmm
the shit out the Vikings.
yeah,
We've seen these backup quarterbacks come in. Um, uh, Colt
Colt
McCoy,
McCoy
he came in, played
beat the
for the
49ers.
Cardinals and beat the 49ers. So to me, it's like you need your backup quarterback to be ready. And I don't want to hear that Jordan Love wasn't ready because Jordan Love was a first round pick. I don't care if you are saying that he is, he came in and we knew he was a project. He shouldn't have looked like that.
Yeah,
There were some bright spots, but this team, I've seen teams come, like I've seen backup quarterbacks with just the same amount of experience come in on worse teams and at least look like something. You get what I'm saying?
it was like before we move on. So do you think he's going to get suspended, or do you think some repercussions should happen?
I don't think he's gonna get suspended
hmm
because there's no precedent for that. Although I think he should get suspended because of the protocols and how he was deliberately breaking them.
hmm
But unfortunately, I think the 49ers, I mean the 49ers, what am I talking about? I think the Packers should lose a draft pick because they allowed this. And what's one thing that I always like to talk about? Institutional control.
Mm-hmm.
Institutional control. You allowed this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Drop your nuts. Tell this motherfucker to put a mask on or go the fuck home.
I think that I agree with the Packers. They should definitely lose a draft pick because signing them means nothing to me. Um, I think for a fact they shouldn't suspend him, but they should just make it seem like it's a suspension. So boom, he already lost. He missed last week, right?
And he shouldn't be able to come back
But he can't come back to the team till
until
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah. But
So
that's what I'm saying.
so let's think about it, bro. Even if he comes back Saturday with no 2 weeks of no practice, and you're gonna throw him out there Sunday, I believe that he's gonna have one of the worst games ever. And it's gonna look way worse than the Saints game.
Is he better than Jordan Love though? 2 weeks of no practice, would he be better than Jordan Love?
Did you see him against the Saints?
I did. But
Okay, then
what would Jordan?
that Saints performance was not better than Jordan Love. I'm sorry.
But here's my thing. Remember, Jordan Love was going against the Chiefs. What would Jordan Love do against that Saints defense?
I understand.
No, we on the same page. We on the same page. We on the same page.
That's definitely a great point.
We on the same page.
Yeah, that's definitely because God damn, they only had 13. You couldn't. Come on, it's the Chiefs, Jordan Love. God damn, you can't even get traded. Like
ain't nobody even gonna put a trade in for you, bro. You might go for, bro. I've seen former Pro Bowlers go for 7th-round picks.
Yeah, so we're gonna stay quick on this one. My guy Drew, thoughts on Dalvin Cook being a victim of domestic violence? We already know in America that men don't get the same treatment of domestic violence as women, and it's just that type of situation. You just gotta just go with the law. Do not retaliate. Just let the law deal with that. And
exactly.
Like I say, unfortunately, you're between a rock and a hard place. Like you say,
whoever get to the phone first, the other one going to jail.
So make sure you just get to that phone.
That's the only get to the phone first,
and just go to that. You should. I mean, take it to the highest extent that you can. That's the only way of fighting it that you can do. But other than that, it's definitely not going to get the same media coverage or the same ridicule than if it was the other way around. So
absolutely. And to me personally, I can't I'm not mad at that, because man, if you just see what's going on social media with what women are dealing with, some of these laws are double standards exist. Men have a lot of upper hands in life.
Yeah.
Some of these some of these laws have to be here to protect women.
Yeah.
Laws are made to protect people, and laws are made to protect people that are vulnerable. And women are a lot more vulnerable than men. And so I understand that. So now that a man is getting hit on by a woman, yeah, yes, that's unfortunate. Nobody should have to go through that. But there are certain things that need to be in place to also protect the vulnerable. Just like a woman cannot be convicted of raping a man.
Rule number 1.
Leave. Yeah, bro.
Play.
And that's the perk of being a man. You have the physical advantage. A woman's not gonna. Well, most men have a physical advantage over their significant other that is a woman. If you are in a heterosexual relationship and you have the strength and the masculinity to leave. Sometimes women aren't afforded that ability. A man can hold a woman down.
Read this one.
Question for later. What do you think Ruggs is going to get? What does he deserve? I don't really want to spend a whole bunch of time on this.
No, we're not.
Because it's unfortunate, and I truly do feel bad for Henry Ruggs. And once again, like I've said before, this was my fear about putting a team in Vegas. And people say, oh, teams are everywhere. Yeah, teams are everywhere, but teams ain't in Vegas.
Vegas is different.
Vegas is different. I don't care about even if you want to tell me Miami, this ain't Vegas.
Yeah.
And to me personally, he's going to spend a lot of time in jail.
They would make an example out of him.
They're going to make an example out of him. And I hope that he is able to find peace. I hope he's able to, continue to have those who love him around him, because that is an unfortunate decision. And he's 22 years old. And right. At 22 years old, majority of people on this planet life could have been changed by a decision that they made when they were 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
When it first happened, I was thinking of, I'm like, okay, we seen this before in the NFL. Leonard Little,
Mm-hmm.
I think he did it. Well, I know he killed somebody one time, but I think he ended up having multiple DUIs.
Yep.
So, and like I said, he kept playing. But the fact that we're in a different day and age, like I say, the social media definitely magnifies things. I think he might not get the highest extent of the law, but he definitely going to jail, and I think his career is definitely
Oh, I think
definitely
I,
over.
th- I think his career is definitely over, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately just because,
Real truth, just say it's a real truth.
yeah, no, I want to see what they do to Andy Reid's son. Same issue, of course. But also, Andy Reid's son wasn't the number one. Like, he wasn't a first round pick.
That
He,
shouldn't
you know,
matter.
no, I know
Somebody
I know
died.
somebody died. But here's my thing: we've always seen how the justice system works. We talk about Brock Turner. Brock Turner was in sentencing. The judge who went to Stanford, the same school as Brock Turner, knew his father and everything else, and said giving him prison time would ruin his future. He's
Mm-hmm.
such a, he's such a bright kid and it would ruin his future. What? No, the decision he made ruined his future to rape a drunk, passed out woman. But, you know, we know that shit don't work for us. And
Yeah, we know
growing
how
up,
the
so
system go.
so I'm gonna so I love that we are able to have these conversations with, the the diversity that we have in our group. And so what I want to say is, for those who don't know, when you grow up black, 9 times out of 10, your family will tell you, like your mother or your father will tell you, you have to work 10 times harder to get the same treatment. And you also have to be 10 times smarter.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a part where Henry Ruggs needed to be 10 times smarter and
Yeah,
know that he can't make that decision, because if something does happen to him, he's not going to get a break. We aren't afforded that. We're not afforded those breaks. And that's why I say it's unfortunate that this happened, because to come from where Henry Ruggs came from, you
yeah,
had to be 10 times better.
yeah.
And he's done everything 10 times better in his life. And that one time he wasn't 10 times smarter, fucked everything up.
That's a fact. Somebody in the comments said, how would D Jack feel in with the Raiders? Um,
You
mhm.
know, like like I was saying about, like, Hill and I had a personal conversation on where we felt D-Jack and OBJ should go. We were talking about this in the three-man weave chat.
Yeah.
And Hill initially said Green Bay, and I
Mhm.
said no. And I
Yeah.
said, I'm fine with the Raiders, because I think like what he does is very similar to Henry Ruggs,
Yeah.
but it's not going to get he D-Jack is not going to give you starter reps. So it's very similar, but
Heavy Ruggs wasn't even.
exactly. It wasn't like Henry Ruggs is the guy.
I mean, I mean, they'll at this point they're a Spider-Man meme to a certain degree. I know Henry Ruggs is faster than D Jacket at his age now.
Hmm.
But he can go fill in for that role and fill that role very well. The fact that Henry Ruggs and Derek Carr really didn't have that great
They didn't have the
connection.
connection. Right.
So it's like I can't really get hyped to say that. Ooh, okay, him and D Jack is just going to get it together.
This is, to me, that's literally, I'm going to take his place. That's literally what this was. And that's why I felt that D-Jack, when we were talking, he wouldn't be a good fit in Green Bay, because I don't think he really adds anything to them, or he even fits into a role of something that they already had,
Yeah,
per se. Because to me, like I said before, D-Jack is probably going to give you 10, 15 snaps a game. I don't see him as someone who will be on the field. So that's why, no, let me rephrase that. That's why I said I think Odell would be better in Green Bay, because D-Jack wouldn't be much more than, a couple
yeah.
plays here and there.
Well, speaking of Odell, we didn't get the news that I was hoping for while we were recording.
I know,
But
man. Damn.
I know they it's speculated that Green Bay is one of the top teams for him, And they also is reports that he's in talks with the Patriots, the Chiefs, and the Saints. So out of those teams, obviously you're going to pick Green Bay because that was your prediction that you posted on on social media anyway. But I mean, you can go in depth on that if you want to, on how you feel it would fit. But I just those teams that they listed is to me.
Why?
Even Kansas City is to me.
Let me tell you why I think Kansas City would be a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have shit else outside of Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill.
I understand.
And now they've understood that they're doing a lot of off script stuff and they don't have a running game. So we don't necessarily have to focus on anything outside of bracket Tyreek Hill and bracket Travis Kelce. And McCole Hartman will send him one on one with someone because he's not a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not worried about anybody out the backfield. We will send four. And Eric, yeah, Chiefs have Josh Gordon, but
That's a troll, bro.
what the fuck is he doing?
That's a
So that's
troll.
my point.
You know Eric right now,
No,
bro.
I know.
He
I
speaks the
just
troll
wanted to like,
language.
and so
That
here's my
my thing about the Chiefs is we know Odell in his prime. He runs great routes. Don't get me wrong, but he's cut from the Chad Johnson run your route tree cloth. These are great route. They're crisp, but they're unorthodox.
but that's why I think the Chiefs would be a good fit because look at those routes that Tyreek Hill route. They don't
Yeah,
necessarily like
yeah. Go
they've
ahead.
discussed that their routes always aren't in the route tree. It's more so of let's go ahead, run this route, get to this spot,
Mm-hmm.
and we will work off script. And so that's why I think having that other piece,
But
knowing Odell, he'll run his routes, he'll get open, but he also is smart enough and has the athleticism to get off script as well. So now you can't just bracket Tyreek, bracket Travis Kelce, because now you're not about to put no, like, I'm sorry, you're not about to put your third corner on Odell on an island with Patrick Mahomes. And regardless of what you think happened in Cleveland, Odell still can get open.
yeah, that's not what I'm debating. But those all scripts is something that Kansas City practices. It takes chemistry to know if I'm rolling where I'm going to get to this spot. That's chemistry. You're not going to just get this chemistry just showing up right here and playing the way that you play.
But also, the scramble drill is real. And I think with Patrick Mahomes, once he gets out the pocket, Odell does know, all right, they can either get on a page and on those routes, depending on what side happens, I'm either gonna like if you're rolling out away from me and scrambling, I'm going to come across the field. If you're rolling to my side, I'm going upfield. Because guess what? Patrick Mahomes got the arm to make the shit happen.
Yeah,
So I don't think that the scramble drill and those off script plays would actually be too much of an issue. And our guy Andy, he said New England doesn't make sense to me.
mm-hmm.
OBJ should want to go to a team that contend and has a QB that can make your job easier. Packers, KC, Chargers, Seahawks would be his top choices, in my opinion.
My
I don't necessarily think that OBJ necessarily saying and has a QB to make your job way easier because New England looks like a contender so far.
Yeah, but
And
I'm sorry to mean to cut you off. Odell. When the last time we seen Odell dance?
you haven't.
Exactly. He ain't gonna be. You know how the Patriot way. Come on, bro. Stay far away from New England. I don't care
But
what
here's
you
my
think.
thing. But here's my thing. He
You've
like
seen how
he,
Patriots players talk about not
100
having fun in New England.
100%. I'm not you know where I think he should go. I think it should be Green Bay,
Yeah,
uh Kansas City. Well, Green Bay at first before Deshaun Jackson, honestly it really could still be, Green Bay, the Raiders, then KC, then New England in my mind. Seahawks, if he wants to go to a contender, if he goes to the Seahawks, it would make their offense even better. But that defense is paper, bro. Like
yeah,
they're
but
trash.
even though their offense is it's easy to defend. You know what what I'm saying. You know what to do. My thing about this comment right here is what I'm going to take it to. Is it? Did I pull it up right? Nah. Here you go. Him and Hill are going to crowd each other's space, and I'm not going to use Hill. I'm going to use Devontae Adams. That's why I really don't like that fit at all. What we know is from certain teams is when it comes to their system, their scheme. Devontae Adams is a move around chess piece on this offense. It's hard to just pinpoint letting the cornerback just guard him. Like I said, he moves in the slot, he's in motion, he's everywhere, everywhere. That's fine. I feel that Matt LaFleur is going to feel that, and we've seen this before. When teams get weapons, when teams get pieces, they just deviate from what worked.
Right.
They're going to stick Devontae on one side, they're going to stick Odell to the other side, and expect them to just win one-on-one. Let's go. I got Aaron Rodgers that's going to give you the perfect throw, and let's go. It's going to deviate. It's going to take away from what Devontae does best.
Okay.
And I just don't like it.
Not
that I don't like it, because let's get all the weapons you need.
And that's why I'm going to take your exact same point and say that's why I like it, because Odell is also a player that you can move around and put everywhere. So you can start Devontae and Odell on the same side and move them around. And you can send Odell in motion. You can send Devontae in motion. So keep them on the same side and run routes. Keep them on opposite sides and run routes. And like I told you when Tampa Bay was talking about getting Antonio Brown, what I say, you want as many weapons as you can to spread the defense thin. And I believe Odell, and from what I've seen of him in the past and just playing against him and seeing him run his routes over, the last couple years, he still got juice, man. And so to me, he's not coming in to be your number one. But I still believe that from what I've seen, shit, you can just watch the routes that he was running in the video his dad posted. He's getting fucking open.
We had that debate. We don't have to get on that again, but
yeah, we ain't gotta get on him again. But that's just my thing.
What messed me up was I really did think the Saints would be a viable option because
I would have loved it until Jameis got hurt.
Yeah, like I said, the Jameis injury it really threw me off for that one. So I'm done with the Saints. I don't really see him going to the Saints. It makes really no sense. You're definitely not trying to catch no pass from Trevor Siemian or Taysom Hill.
I'll go home if I got to catch passes from Trevor Siemian. No disrespect, but
is it
that ain't where I'm trying to go.
And Drew, we had the conversation in the group. Do you imagine the creativity Green Bay will have with Adams and OBJ? We're talking about two weapons that can play all three wide receiver positions. I am not disagreeing with that point, but once again, we've seen people. I can use my team for example. We stuck Amari on one side. We stuck Gallup on one side. We stuck CeeDee Lamb in the slot and didn't move him not one time last year.
And you know how much I hate Zach Taylor, right?
And what does he do with y'all weapons?
Oh no, he does move around. Jamar Chase has been in the slot sometimes. Jamar Chase has been in the slot. Him and T. Higgins have been on the same side with Jamar Chase in the slot. But the one constant is that Tyler Boyd usually remains in the slot, but he gets outside snaps as well. But you do see some creativity from there. And I believe Matt LaFleur is a much creative head coach than Zach fucking Taylor. So I have faith that they wouldn't do that. And to me, like you said, to your point, you say we have seen coaches fall in love with their weapons and stuff like that. And they get to a point where it's like, I'm going to just tell you to go out here and win your routes. I don't see Matt LaFleur doing that. And if Matt LaFleur doesn't do that, guess what? That makes them a much better team.
Well, we're going to see. Hopefully he'll be signed soon so we can get it. I hate dealing with such hypotheticals.
Absolutely.
The Rams would be a good spot. I don't like that either. There's too much going on. Like
I think you're fine because they believe in Van Jefferson, so I think you're fine with what you have.
I don't believe in Van Jefferson, but they can believe in him all they want.
That's why I said I think they believe in Van Jefferson, so I think they're fine with what they have.
I said, they can believe in him all they want, but for what I've seen from him, he's cool. He's cool. Before we get up out of here, we got to talk about See, we got another one, another notification. Pat's in contact with OBJ.
Yeah.
But what did I say a couple weeks ago? Can Matt Jones get a legitimate wide receiver?
And that's why I say I don't feel like it would be bad because people are talking about, oh, you need to go to a quarterback where I don't think like Odell in his prime was catching passes from Eli Manning.
Yeah.
I don't think it's, oh, I want to go to an established quarterback. I think Odell just wants to go somewhere where it's like, hey, you can get me the ball.
It's just that if I want Odell to be Odell, like I said,
Right.
I want him dancing.
100%.
I want him, being free. I want him. I want him being who he is. He's been. Have we heard from him? Like you say, like do we know what's going on? We don't,
But
and
here's
we're
my
not. I'm
but
telling you,
but here's
man. He get to New England. He's going to have a headache. It's going to
but here's
Chad
my
Johnson all
thing.
over again.
But here's my thing. People always talk about how Odell is this terrible locker room guy. He's such a baby. He's this distraction. But literally his whole time in Cleveland, we haven't heard from him. We haven't heard a peep. Everyone had an issue with him dancing. Everybody had an issue with him celebrating. Everybody had an issue with him being frustrated on the sidelines. We haven't seen none of that. And this has probably been the worst stretch of his career. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that Odell has grown, to be quite honest, where I don't think New England would be a problem. Yes, I get what you're
New
saying, where the
New
Patriot
England
way
ain't
might
grown.
be like the Patriot way might be strapping him down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Oh, that's who I was forgetting. The Colts. I love the Colts because they need somebody opposite Michael Pittman.
He said contender.
They contending in the South.
No, they're not. No, they're
They
not.
contend.
No, they're not.
It's three wild card spots. They're contending.
No, they are not. Like we
Yeah.
got the whole AFC West, probably the whole AFC West still better than them. Like the Colts are done. Like the Colts had an opportunity. They had an opportunity to beat the Titans and take over to try to make this division competitive. The Colts are done. That's why they're not mentioned. Like wrap them up. It would be. Would he be perfect? I mean, Carson Wentz is no worse than Baker Mayfield and Eli.
Oh,
So
and Carson to air that bitch out. He will throw it. He might
yeah, to
not
the other
hit you.
team.
Yeah, but
It's gonna look. Some of them passes gonna look exactly like that video.
Oh, 100%. But
You know what I'm saying? But they do need a number one receiver. Don't get me wrong. Don't take what I'm saying is don't get it misconstrued. They would definitely use him and would definitely upgrade everything that they got going on. But he said contender.
Yeah,
They ain't
very
contending.
True. Yeah, they're not. You're not. You're right. You're right about that. So
Don't try to skate away from your owner. We about to wrap it up with your owner. Your owner been out here wilding, and I'm trying to understand what's taking the NBA so long getting your man's up out of here.
oh, that we ain't got. You want my? Let me
I
just
know
do
you
this.
won't go. I want you to defend him. I'm
Let,
just saying.
let me do this segment real quick, and we can make this real quick. Fire his motherfucking ass. Get him the fuck up out of town, and let's move on. And pull a Donald Sterling. Get him and his nasty ass wife up out there, and let's go. So we had a fight on Saturday. Real quick, what are your thoughts about the fight?
Canelo is my guy, and Canelo showed me what
He's
Canelo
great.
did. And y'all told me, like I said, a lot of the stuff that y'all been teaching me about looking at fights on how to view fights, it showed. It showed. I was not impressed with Plant's game plan. Plant game plan looked like he was trying to get to a decision. Like,
But what have I also told you about boxing? Though sometimes you just outclassed. Because remember I told you about tiers in those weight classes.
mm-hmm.
Canelo is above tier A at this point.
I get that.
Caleb
Now,
Plant is a tier B.
as
And
much
it just shows, bro. It just showed. And what I told you when we was watching the fight, it looked like Plant game plan was bad because guess what? Those punches wasn't doing what it does to other fighters.
mm-hmm.
So the game plan that Plant had, where it's like, all right, I'm gonna hit him with some combos, I'm gonna use my head movement and do all that. Canelo's like, all right, come on, that ain't nothing. And once he knows that your punches don't affect me, what does Canelo have to really worry about? Canelo's head movement was great in those like if you look at the first half of the fight, Canelo's head movement was crazy. Then after that, Canelo was just in the pocket, just like looking for his shot and setting him up for every single thing. And he was putting stuff in the bank to wait. And as he drug him into them championship rounds, all right, you done punched yourself out. I've been beating up your rib cage and your arms. Your arms are lower. Now guess what's finna happen?
My thing, how do you get walked down and the boxer's not even throwing a punch? Like,
because
how do you keep letting that happen?
You know why? Because when he hits you, you feel it. And you know that I can't. Plant actually stood in the pocket more than I thought he would. But at some points, it's like, you're better. Like, you do know you're better than me. Like, sometimes it just happens. Sometimes I know you're better than me. And Canelo knows he can't knock me out with one punch. So I'm going to cut off the ring. I'm going to stand in front of him. There was nothing Plant can do to flip that. What to you? Let me ask you this. If you were in Caleb Plant's corner, what would you have told him?
You know, hey, what round did he get knocked out in?
The 11th.
I would have got knocked out. I'd have got knocked out in 8th, 6 or 8. Because
I think he might have been out. Canelo would have got you about like 5 because
no. I'm talking about if I was Plant.
I get you, and I'm talking about if he was Plant too.
Because my strategy, because like I said, I gotta throw some punches. Like this dude is still a defensive wizard. Like which he does, what he don't get enough credit for. I have to throw something. I have to get active, bro. Like Plant his defense and recovery is not top tier. So I have to get aggressive. I have to try something. This right here, this ain't working, bro. This trying to survive the fight. No.
But here's my thing though. You talking about he wasn't throwing. Plant threw more punches than Canelo.
I understand. Threw more punches, but were they active? Like, come on now. We seen people just throwing and just that's a throw. That's an attempt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but my thing is, like, you're so worried about being like Canelo.
You so worried, right?
Plant landed over 50% of his power punches, but his power punches, they're not anything like Plant is a defensive fighter, and it showed because he's being like, to make it that far. That was to me, I think he fought well.
I mean, it was a good fight.
I think he fought well.
I'm gonna tell you what
he was just outmatched.
I'm gonna tell you what messed me up. This is the novice, the casual coming to me. Y'all talked all that at the pregame. You talked all that at the pregame. You sold the fight like you really wanted real smoke. Like,
I mean,
and you get in that ring, and then now all of a sudden your game plan is that? Nah, I need that energy that you had at the face off. That's the casual in me. That's the casual in me. So I'm sorry that I put that expectation on you, Plant. That I thought you were gonna come out and show up better than that. Sorry.
But I mean, we've seen people sell fights and get their ass whooped before. I don't think he got his ass whooped. I think just the better man ended up doing what he had to do, and it just outlasted him. It happens, bro. Like,
I understand. Like he was never on his like you said, he was never on his level.
And that's truly what it comes to. It's literally just a testament to how good Canelo is, because Caleb Plant, probably if he fights like that on any other night against any other fighter, he comes out victorious.
Yeah.
He was like, as much as you say he was active, he had good defense, because as much as, we talk about Canelo, like, Canelo wasn't completely landing flush, like, power shots to the face. Canelo was beating up the fuck up out his body, and that's what Canelo does.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like he was just like getting caught, because he was standing in the pocket. He was making good, like, he was having good head movement. Even when he knew the right times to clinch. He knew how to escape Canelo's clinches, all of that. He even got caught on the rope sometimes and was getting out of there. But at the end of the day, Canelo, he knows, like, if jabbing me is part of your game plan, I'm gonna X that out.
Yeah. My thing, so we can wrap it up here. So where does Canelo go from here? Because Darrell want him, but is he a even big enough name?
I think if Canelo and Benavidez, who I think David Benavidez actually should have been on this card, because it could have been Benavidez, if he wins his match, he can call out Canelo on this card. This card was terribly put together, but that's for another day. But I think Darrell is kind of just like, if that Benavidez fight can't be made, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
I know,
it.
yeah, like I mean,
like
because
this is it.
Charlo will probably get some money, but I think Charlo will look worse than Plant, to be quite honest, just because I'm not there. I'm not there with Charlo. I'm not there with Charlo at all. So
both of them.
Go in there together. Go in there together. Jump his ass. That's what it takes. And so,
man, felt good to be
Mark,
back.
Get the fuck out of my face. Don't ever in the pod, Hill. In the pod, so in the pod now before I get angry.
He got a point. He got a point.
In the pod now.
Well, you see the two names that you just named. That was it. You didn't even have a third name. You couldn't even think it. But
no, because remember, I think for a big money fight, it would be Errol Spence.
I understand that, but like I said,
but in this division, I don't see nobody. He can go up, but it'll be, if he goes up in weight, it'll be a fight for legacy, not money.
I mean, it's gonna be both. It's gonna be both because he big money.
Oh, he's big money. I'm talking about if he goes, like if he fights and it's for, Spence is big money and legacy. This is easy. Jokic bros.
Oh, Jokic brother.
First off, it's three of them.
Hey, they created a Twitter just to tell y'all this ain't what you want. They had no Twitter. They created.
I will break you. No avatar, no nothing.
I'm good. As much as y'all know, I'm gonna let them go. I'm gonna let them have it.
It's gonna be a whole bunch of hold me backs.
You know what I'm saying? I'll sell that fight, but it ain't gonna. I ain't gonna sell the fight.
Stop fucking with them boys from them war-torn countries. Y'all don't want that smoke for real.
Yeah, y'all really don't want that. It's episode 129. Felt good to be back. Y'all know y'all can catch us on all major podcast platforms. 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. We also on Twitch and TikTok, 3Man Weave _. I'm Hill. That's AJ. Shouts out to Cannon. And we out.
You dig?